Hello, fight fans. I'm that boxing writer, Jeremy Harridges, and welcome to Boxing and Coffee, the show that infuses boxing and coffee. Well, it is Monday, March 15th. Happy Monday, everybody. I am feeling a little bit sluggish today. I don't sleep well on Sundays to begin with. I think it's the anticipation of a new week, and every single thing that I have to do keeps me up at nights. I don't know. Thinking about boxing, columns, interviews, transcriptions that I have to do, and term papers. I think all of those things combine to deplete me of sleep, but that's why we have coffee. And as you know, I'm drinking Death Wish coffee this week, and this month was the intended time, but I am sucking this stuff down, and I'm sticking to my 1 cup a day limit. However, my 1 cup is probably closer to most other people's 3 cups, considering that I drink I drink probably 12 ounces of coffee in one shot. So Death Wish coffee, the highly caffeinated coffee. Now I looked up some stats on Death Wish, saying, okay, I wonder if there's a real level of caffeine that we can isolate here. And one website that I read claimed that Death Wish has 490 milligrams of caffeine. To put that into context, the average cup of coffee, from what I've read in my research, is about 90. So it's way up there. It used to make the claim that they were the strongest cup of coffee in the world. That's no longer the case. There's other caffeinated, high caffeine coffees out there with a higher caffeine level. But I find that this is just right. Again, for a seasoned coffee drinker, someone that's used to drinking lots of coffee, I think that this will do you okay, and more than okay. We'll definitely have your day start and have you revving, ready to go. So I need my energy. So let's talk some boxing. Of course, we're going to be talking about the big topic, which is the fallout from Francisco Estrada, Juan Francisco Estrada versus Chocolatito Gonzalez. Before we get there, the sad news before the fights began this last weekend, Marvin Hagler, longtime middleweight champion, has died at the age of 66. There haven't been a whole lot of details about his death. His family wants everything private, and most definitely we want to respect their wishes. Marvin Hagler meant so much to so many people, and I think that it's important that we take some time to sit back and celebrate the man. Such an amazing fighter, meant so much to so many people. I've seen so many messages on Twitter about how Marvin Hagler brought people into the sport of boxing, how people gained an appreciation from watching one of his fights, whether it was, Hagler Hearns or him beating Alan Minter for his first for winning the world title, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many other fights out there, and 66 years old, far too soon. So rest in peace, Marvin Hagler. Condolences to his family. A legend gone too soon, and a big loss to the boxing family. So this weekend we had our fights. David Benavidez, I thought, looked solid against Ronald Ellis. Ronald Ellis showed a great chin. Again, a lot of people are trying to dismiss him as just a guy that was a sparring partner for Canelo, which he was at some capacity. Pause. I'm telling you, I'm running sluggish today. It's good. But he was a skilled boxer. He had 1 loss on his record. Yes, 2 draws. And again, he explained those to me. If you Google fan-sided Ronald Ellis, it'll pop up. I interviewed him right before his Korobov fight. Nice guy, really like him. Thought he showed a great chin. He never went down, but he was taking far too much punishment. And I think David Benavidez deserves a lot of credit for that. He stopped a guy who's never been stopped. He threw a lot of punches. He was energetic. Did he get hit too often? Sure, but I think that's what you're going to find with Benavidez, that he's willing to take a punch to deliver his own, and usually that works out in his favor because he does pack such a punch. But again, the volume. He's a great volume puncher, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that. I talked to him after the fight about that. If you check out my interview on this YouTube channel, you'll see that I got a chance to talk to him. Also talked to Terrell Gaucher, pulled off the big upset against Jamonte Clark. And I shouldn't say a big upset. I mean, the betting numbers were even for the most part. However, the statistics, just the plain stats, whether it's age, height, reach, weren't in his favor. And he was coming off of a draw and a loss. So he needed this win. At the age of 33, has reinvigorated his career with the second round stoppage. Great knockdown of Jamonte Clark. Jamonte Clark's young, can still come back. And that's the nature of the game. So it was a solid card. I was really enjoyed the Showtime card. On the flip side of things, on DAZN, which I was watching at the same time, also covering for Fansided, I had the recaps for the main events there as well. I think a lot of it was obviously a fantastic, epic fight. Estrada versus Chocolatito 2 turned into an instant classic for the volume of punches thrown, the competitiveness, the back and forth, close fight, and everybody's talking about the judging. We shouldn't know a judge's name. However, we all probably know Carlos Sucre, who had the 117-111 score for Estrada, which pretty much everyone agrees is ludicrous in a fight of this magnitude that's this close. Way too close to have a 117-111 score. Got called out immediately, and the WBA president, Gilberto Mendoza, yesterday put out numerous statements on social media. I saw them on Twitter. And then the WBA also put out statements echoing his plan to suspend Carlos Sucre, and that move's getting applauded by a lot of people, as it should. There should be disciplinary measures for a referee who is not doing an effective job. I would like to think that they have a system in place that goes towards regulating their officials, but we don't see it too often because we see lots of officials turn in numerous bad cards and we never hear anything about it. Adelaide Bird, probably, other than now Carlos Sucre, probably the judge that has gotten the most negative attention for scorecards, has been reprimanded, but again has found her way back into judging prominent bouts, not as many as she once did. And I have a feeling that's going to be the same case with Carlos Sucre. I don't think he's ever going to really rebound from this. I don't think he's going to get a whole lot of high-profile fights from here on out after that 117-111 card. And again, I don't think there was anything sinister behind it. Maybe I'm naive. But regardless, it was a bad performance. And he shouldn't receive assignments of this magnitude if that's the kind of performance as a judge that he turns out. So I think that voice has been pretty universal. Now, let's just talk about why that was such a bad scorecard. Whenever you're talking about this, right, it's objective. Scoring is objective. Scoring is subjective, and that's the problem. It's subjective, meaning it's my opinion, it's how I see the fight, that's how I'm scoring it. So anytime you have a subjective scoring system, there's going to be problems, and we see that with every sport that has some sort of subjective judging that goes along with it, whether it's gymnastics or figure skating or diving. Someone is giving a score, their opinion of what they're seeing, and that's where the problems come in. Now, one thing that I really like is CompuBox. CompuBox has great statistics. I love the people over at CompuBox. Nick and Dan, good guys, doing great things, have been doing them for a long time. Also, make sure that you catch Dan Canabio on his show on Pluto TV, Inside Boxing Live. Amazing show. Also has his segments now on Fox Sports for PBC events. Does a great job. But the numbers, and again, the CompuBox stats don't tell the entire story, but it's I think, one of the best metrics that we have that do tell part of the tale. So looking at those numbers, obviously the combined punches, 2,529. That right there is going to make this an excellent fight because it's all action. There is no clinching. They just went. And that's what you like to see. That's what helped make this such a great classic. Was the most combined punches for the super flyweight division in history. So they set a record. That's big. When you look at the numbers, Gonzalez was the busier fighter, 1,317 punches to 1,212 for Estrada. Great numbers. Gonzalez was more active. Here's the other thing. Gonzalez threw connected on 391 total punches to Estrada's 314. So not only did he throw more, he connected on more, which you would expect that relationship would be there. However, even his connect percentage was higher. So it's not just his numbers are inflated. Yeah, he landed more because he threw more. He was also more accurate than Estrada. That changes things a little bit because it's not just a matter of, well, I threw a lot out there and I was able to make more stick. It would be different if Estrada's numbers were much less. However, his accuracy was through the roof. It wasn't. Gonzalez landed 29.7% of his punches, according to CompuBox, compared to Estrada's 25.9, rounded up to 26. Well, you could round up Gonzalez's to 30. So 30 to 26, that's a 4% difference in a fight this close. I think that kind of tells you who had the edge in this fight, which makes that 117-111 scorecard more egregious because ultimately Chocolatito probably deserved to win that fight. I know everyone probably saw it a little bit differently, but even if you go on to the court of public opinion, most people say Chocolatito deserved that fight. I'm of the opinion he deserved that fight. The other referees were split, obviously, for 115-113, which, hey, if you gave Estrada 115-113, I disagree with it, but it's more believable than 117-111. Based on those numbers, I mean, those numbers just help secure a complete performance from Gonzalez, and that's why I like going to the numbers. That's why I like having the numbers, because they do tell a part of the story. So don't just completely dismiss CompuBox numbers and say that they're not important. They're a metric that we can use to help assess performances, and I think they're important. And I think punch stats help us see tendencies, help us see patterns, help us learn about a fighter and what a fighter likes to do and how a fight played out. That fight, I saw it in waves. I thought Chocolatito had the stronger start. Then I think Estrada started to find his rhythm in the middle rounds, and it looked like Chocolatito's age, at least in part because of his age, started to fade, but he found that second wind. And I thought, rounds 9, 10, 11, 12, those were his. I thought he was on. I thought he won those last few rounds. I thought those were crucial to securing him the victory. Estrada started to come back, and I thought for a second there, I really did, that, he's taken over. This is his fight. Chocolatito's done. He's fading. But again, that second win, I didn't expect that. I thought Estrada was going to win. I didn't have an official prediction piece, but in my head, I was predicting that Estrada was going to win this fight, and he didn't. Well, he shouldn't have. I mean, at least in my opinion, my subjective opinion. But again, I think the numbers do tell a big piece of the story. Even going to the clean, you could say, okay, fine, he landed a lot of punches. Who landed the more effective punches? Well, if we go to power punch stats, Gonzalez has the edge there too. Through 883 power punches to 817 for Estrada. Connected on 352 to 297. Punch stat here, 39.9% connect rate for Gonzalez, 36.4 for Estrada. Round that up, 40 to 36, round that one down. Again, another 4 percentage points right there. That to me is a big deal. So I think that those numbers tell the story tell part of the story, and give an added metric as to why Gonzalez deserved that victory. I think the numbers support that case, which is why I'm citing them so heavily. There you go. Cheers. I'm going to end here now. I've been talking for a while and I got to get going. But I think it's important that if we're going to call out the judges, Carlos Sucre, for a poor performance and say that he deserves to be suspended, I think we should be doing more of that. And on that night in particular, I thought there were several bad cards that were produced. Let's not forget Jessica McCaskill versus Cecilia Brækhus fight. McCaskill came in as the undisputed welterweight champion, took the titles from Brækhus in their previous fight, and I thought she deserved to win this fight as well. What I didn't like were the scores. They were really, really wide, wider than they should have been. Going back to those scores, 98 to 91, 99 to 90, and 100 to 89. 98 to 91. Okay, I guess I could live with that maybe. I thought it was a little bit closer than that, but hey, McCaskill, I thought, controlled the majority of that fight. Brækhus seemed to come on a little bit towards the end. Even if you give Brækhus go 7-3, okay. But to just give her one round or no rounds, as Judge Chris Tellez did, 100 to 89. Okay, that was a much more definitive fight, and the right person won. Jessica McCaskill deserved to win that fight, is the champion. But 100 to 89 is a bad card. It's less egregious because at least the right person won here, so the numbers don't matter as much. But it's another really bad performance by a judge. In my mind, you can't just single out one and say, hey, your bad performance was more notable than this judge's bad performance. A bad performance is a bad performance. And if you're going to be that far off, then again, a suspension and a review are warranted. So if we're going to sit here and call out Carlos Sucre, he's not the only one that deserves to be called out. Chris Tellez, in this case, deserves to be called out. And let's be fair, many other judges deserve to be called out as well. My 2 cents on it, that's what I got. Got a busy week for you guys. I've got some interviews coming up. My interview with Amanda Serrano will be coming out to fansided.com. And then I've got a special video interview that will also have a feature for fansided.com with Marisela Cornejo, who will be fighting this Thursday on Ring City, USA. So I'm excited. That one will be coming soon, either today or tomorrow. One of the two, but keep a lookout for that. And I'm just going to be pumping out more stuff, writing boxing. Make sure to like, subscribe, take a look at some of the social links below. And that's all I got for today. I'm going to finish drinking this coffee so I can wake up some more. But thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Cheers.